A very good day to you. Thank you so much for tuning in to DSTV channel 405. You're watching your favorite show, People's Imbizo, with myself, Agiora Bedze Hlope. We're coming to you from Vosloorus in Ekurhuleni, and today we're talking about swimming as a career, especially in townships. I am joined today by an esteemed panel. To my immediate right is Disetso Motloung from the Gauteng Department of Sports, Arts, Culture and Recreation. Next to her is Mr. Koen Klopper, the head of Sports and Recreation in Ekurhuleni's southern region. And next to him, Eileen Tlakaza from Swim SA. We also have Vosloorus Hlanganiso, the Ward 44 committee member. A very good day to you all, and thank you so much for joining us. Perhaps let's just start off with talking about swimming, the history of swimming and how it actually, or when rather, it actually came into prominence in the country. I could start with you, Eileen.
Hello everyone, and thanks for this opportunity. I think as far as I can recall, when Penny Haynes won a medal at the Olympics, that's when people started to be aware that, wow, swimming is around. And that's when the youth now realize that they can actually pursue swimming as a sport, you know, because I think in a lot of the black communities, swimming is not such a priority. You know, the focus is on other codes of sports, your soccer, your netball. But I think by that time, you know, we sort of put ourselves on the map. And by the time Chetitlo came into the picture, you know, everybody knew about swimming. And I mean, even small children these days, if you ask swimming, the response would be Chetitlo, you know. So I think it is a sport that people identify with and to know that it is around.
Perhaps a question to ask is why was there that sort of a stigma around swimming? Why don't many people actually know that swimming is a sport, that they can actually follow or pursue swimming as a career? I mean, if you mention soccer, everyone knows that, okay, I can be a soccer star, I can play netball, I can play rugby, I can play cricket, but why isn't there much knowledge about swimming in the schools? Perhaps I'll start with you.
Let me just first start by saying thank you so much for the invite. I'm from the Department of Sports, Arts, Culture and Recreation. If I may answer that one, you know, there is this notion that blacks are not familiar with water, especially with water sport. And that is why, hence, you find that most Africans play soccer, they are more familiar with soccer and other sporting codes, which is quite true. But I think, as Eileen has just mentioned, that now it is gaining momentum, and it's being realized that it is a sporting code of note, that people can take it seriously, and not necessarily as a career, and then as well as a safety measure. You know, when we do the trainings, we normally do the trainings as a safety measure to our young ones. Hence, I said it never used to be something for blacks. We used to go to the dams and everything, but it was never used to be some of the things that we actually took as a sporting code or something that we participated in. So yes, I can say, yeah.
And Koen, can you add to that?
Yes, but I think we must start at water safety. You know, to get the kids not to drown and not to get injured. They must come here to smile, not to cry. And so we start with water safety, and then we work it up. Our sister unit, sports programs and projects, they do learn to swim programs. We take primary school kids, we teach them water safety, we make them feel at home in the water, and then we teach them how to swim and to help themselves when they get into trouble. And they can take it on further if they want to, you know. At the end of the day, swim galas if they want to. But we make sure that we do not want kids to come and cry here.
And Vosloorus, just at the ward level.
Thank you for the opportunity which I get it today, although I was not prepared. But since I'm a person who's working for the community, helping them left and right, I think it was the right time for me. This thing, politically, if I can say it, swimming pool, it brings something to our kids, which it was something was close, if I may say. They didn't have time, opportunity to have a swimming pool in their yard, or fish outside in town. People have swimming pools in their yards. Children have an opportunity to learn and swim. Now, I think this swimming pool here in Vosloorus is going to make our kids to be more in sport of swimming, because in black, if I may say, we don't have that time to have our kids to learn more about swimming and make it as a career. But now I think politically side, this thing must be started from school. They must add a time where our kids can come in this swimming pool to learn. Give them an hour, almost every day, to add their to them so that they can learn more. Because we need this. This swimming pool has been here, if I'm not mistaken, for 6 years now. It's doing nothing. It's only when the school are closed, they come here and swim. No learners, no teaching. They don't teach them. They just swim them, let them. No, did they know that these kids know how to swim? No, it's only to be in the water. I think this is going to make a lot of opportunity for our children at school, even in the local.
Well, you know, you just mentioned something important, that as a public swimming pool, people actually are allowed to come here whether or not they know how to swim. What are the laws that actually govern public swimming pools? Do you have to pay an entrance fee? Should you be accompanied by someone who knows how to swim? Are there lifeguards available at the public pools just to, you know, take note in case someone doesn't actually know how to swim but ends up inside the water?
Oh, we definitely, as I said, safety first. We've got lifeguards, well-trained lifeguards, and they go every now and again to top up on their training. And we've got rules and regulations, you know, but we try for the people to come and enjoy themselves and to the kids must come and enjoy themselves. But they pay an entrance fee. We've got running costs, not that the entrance fee will cover it ever, but it helps. And then we've got lifeguards looking after the kids. For instance, you will see the level of this pool, we've dropped it a little bit to make it safer for the younger ones. You know, when we say we would organize a gala later on or so, we will fill it up properly, but safety first all the time.
Now, you know, it was actually Vuisa who mentioned this thing, that perhaps in some of the public schools in the communities, there could be a way that swimming training is incorporated into the curriculums. I mean, if I speak for myself, when I went to school, you had to learn how to swim. It wasn't a matter of choice. It wasn't a matter of it's a safety thing. It was in the curriculum. You had to learn how to do it, whether you wanted to or not. So is there any way that perhaps Swim SA works with some of the communities or the government, or who's responsible for actually incorporating swimming into the curriculums of school?
Should I answer that? Yeah, we do actually have a partnership with a Ekurhuleni local municipality, and for that very, you know, factor, to run swimming lessons at all the municipality pools. And what we've done is we have engaged the Department of Education and Training and have requested that we use the life orientation, you know, period. And of course, there's other subjects, modules included there, if I may put it that way, but obviously sports would be one of the activities. And we would then take the kids to the pool or walk the kids to the pool, but ideally if it's a school that is within walking distance of, you know, of the pool, and then the teacher in charge would walk the kids to the pool, and the lifeguards and the instructors would obviously be available at, you know, at the pool, and they would obviously receive those lessons. And more importantly, as already mentioned by my colleague, is the water safety aspect. Okay, so that will be number one issue. You know, all the kids would have to be made water safe. You know, and by water safety we mean safety issues. You know, if somebody falls into the pool, how far must you be from the pool, and obviously general behavior, you know, around the pool, because safety would be a priority. But we must also not forget that at the same time, these pools are meant for the kids to enjoy. You know, learn to swim, but also enjoy, you know, enjoy the water. Okay, so that partnership that I alluded to earlier on seems to be working, but there are obviously challenges that I think maybe at a later stage I will, you know, make mention of. But I mean, if you get a cooperative school, you know, usually the system works very, very well. So if it's a life orientation period at 10 o'clock, kids move from the pool, from the school to the pool, and they're here within 5-10 minutes. And they have their lesson for 30 minutes and then walk back to school, change into their school clothes, and back to, you know, your academic, you know, curriculum. So that works well. But unfortunately, there are those schools where you find that the principal is not knowledgeable, is not prepared to move with the times, you know, and you find that it's a bit of a hassle between, you know, the principal not allowing the school and you know, obviously affording the kids the, you know, the right to learn to swim.
Well, perhaps we need to start with the principals and the teachers, you know, get them to be water safe and more comfortable, and perhaps that might actually convince them to allow the students to come in. I think it's just a matter of the fear of the unknown, if I can put it that way. If you don't know how to swim yourself, you don't want to endanger the children because you feel that it might be a hazard. But we do also have Melvin from Learn to Swim Ekurhuleni. Let me just rope him into the conversation.
My name is Melvin Kruger. I'm representing the Department of Sports and Recreation, and I work in the southern region of Ekurhuleni. So basically it's Alberton, Germiston and Boksburg. So the Learn to Swim program has been running in Ekurhuleni from February 2007. That's when it started in the eastern part of Ekurhuleni, and it grew later on in 2010. 2010 it came to the southern region, and then in 2011 it grew further to the northern regions, so Kempton Park, Tembisa section. So in the southern region, we currently have the program rolled out in Vosloorus itself. We've got a program running with the school Bopangkhotso. We also have in Tokoza, we've got 2 schools part of the Learn to Swim program there. We've got Leondale, we've got Leondale Primary, we've got Elston, that's part there, and then we also have got Rege Park. There's also about 2 schools that's part of the program in Rege Park, and then this year we are looking at extending it to Palm Ridge Swimming Pool, where we'll also be having the program rolled out in Palm Ridge. So we've done quite extensive work in quite a few of our areas. It's just unfortunate with Vosloorus that, you know, the pool, the depth of the pool, it's a little bit deep. So in Vosloorus we look at your grade 4s and 5s. Unfortunately, we cannot cater for grade 1, 2s and 3s because they're a little bit, you know, on the short side. But we do cater for grade 4s and 5, and the program is rolled out with Bopangkhotso Primary School.
And just talk to us about some of these successes of your program. Do some of the students that you teach how to swim get to swimming galas or, you know, inter-school swimming competitions or perhaps provincial level?
Yeah.
What type of programs do they get involved in competitively?
Yeah, we've actually been very successful with the Rege Park swimming pool. They've actually gone as far as starting their own club, and a lot of those kids are part of the galas that Eastern Gauteng runs. And the same for Tokoza as well. There's also, through the Learn to Swim program, they've also started, you know, a club themselves, and they take part regularly in quite a few of our galas that Eastern Gauteng hosts on a regular basis. So it is growing. There's a lot of interest for clubs, you know, to start their own clubs within the areas, and we're hoping that Vosloorus can also soon, you know, start rolling out and start a club so that they can, you know, take swimming development further.
Thank you. We'll come back to you. So just talk to us about the number of clubs. I mean, he's mentioning clubs and how that, you know, they're hoping that they can get more clubs formed. If a community feels that they want to start a club, a swimming club, what's the process? How does it actually work?
Okay, in terms of club development, we do have a directorate dealing with club development. And then, like everybody's saying, they start at the foundation phase. Like when they start doing the register with the Swimming SA, they have to, if they've already formed a club, they must register with Swimming SA so that they can be coached and mentored throughout their development. Okay. So yeah, we do have that.
Okay. Aline, perhaps you could just shed more light on the process. I mean, we've come together as a group of people, we're interested in swimming ourselves, and perhaps mentoring children. What do we have to do to make sure that we actually are compliant with the laws?
Yeah, I think one of the very important matters with formulation of a club is community involvement and you know, the parents of the swimmers you know, being involved and forming part of executive structure, if I may put it that way. So there'll have to be a chairperson and a secretary and, you know, all that. And we often think that that is very, very important because the parents have got to drive the club. You know, municipality can't do it. Municipality can provide support and guidance. Swimming South Africa can also do the same, but the parents have got to drive the club. So firstly, it would be registration of the club, and it would have to have an executive structure comprising of the parents of the kids that are obviously involved in the club. And then there'll have to be a constitution, some bank account, even if it doesn't have any money, but something to show that when money comes in, you know, it is obviously going into the club's club account. But the affiliate would be there to provide the club with the support and the guidance and the right documentation that they need to complete. And obviously then after all that has been done, the club would then have to register with the affiliate. And in this case, it would be a EGA. Okay. And then from there, then EGA would process that documentation to, you know, to Swimming South Africa. And obviously at that level, then the kids are compelled to participate in, you know, in gala. So if there's a level 1 gala, the kids would have to start, you know, obviously the club would have to start registering and sending forward names, and then the kids are exposed to competitive, you know, swimming. I need to also emphasize that the involvement of parents is very, very crucial, because unfortunately, and I'm not bad-mouthing the other sports, unfortunately, with swimming, if you're looking at being the next Chet Litlow, Chet practices a minimum of 4 hours a day. Okay, so there's a lot of commitment that is needed, and the parent has got to be there. You know, if the swimmer needs to be here at 5 o'clock in the morning for a morning session, mommy or daddy has got to be there. Okay, if the swimmer needs to be here 5 o'clock till 8 o'clock in the evening, mommy or daddy needs to be there. So even if there's a coach, the coach has got his responsibilities, which is taking the swimmer to the next level, but the parent has got to provide the support and the guidance, and, you know, take the child to all these, you know, events that are actually happening. So I would take it that all the other sports, it's the same, you know, and for your child to get to the next level, as a parent, you need to be there to drive and to push and to encourage and motivate, and you know what I mean. And obviously there's a balance with schoolwork as well, because you don't want an excellent failure and then the next day they fail, you know. So it's challenging for the parent.
Now, Koen, just on the topic of perhaps practicing 4 hours a day, how long does the public pool open for? What time does it close? I mean, if someone has to go to school first, do your homework first, and then be allowed to come and practice, can that actually work in public pools? Yes,
we do that. We open at 10 o'clock in the mornings. We work on Saturdays and Sundays, so Monday is our weekend. So Mondays, and we do, you know, we do maintenance and so on a Monday. But then it's open 6 days a week. We start at 10 and we go till about 5 o'clock.
And there's additional lighting when the sun sets, right?
Yeah, we've got additional lighting, you know, but it's difficult, you know. If it's a bit too dark, it gets dangerous, because we must keep eyes on the water. So ideally, we during the daytime.
All right. Let's just go to the audience. We do have a live audience here. Any questions coming in for the panelists?
My name is Teboho from VASA, which stands for Vosloorus All Sports Association. I've got a question for the lady from Swimming SA. My problem about parents' involvement when it comes to sports, it seems to be lacking in the township, and that has been the challenge of any sporting coach. Now I want to know, if you said the parents must always be there, how practical is it for our children to be involved in swimming when the parents are not there? Say we got a coach that is going to be facilitating the program of swimming. Now, if the parents chooses not to be involved, is there any maybe challenge there?
I suppose the practicality of it is a challenging one, but I do not think that it is impossible. And I am very, very much aware of the socio-economic challenges, not having transport of your own to take your child to a gala in Delville, you know, so I'm very, very much aware of those challenges. But our take on it is the coach cannot entirely take the responsibility of the parent and him coaching the learner. And I'm not also necessarily insinuating that every other practice and every other gala the parent must be there, you know, but if it's a matter of saying, you know what, this Saturday I'm not doing spring cleaning or I'm not washing the windows, I am actually going to grab a taxi and go to Delville to support my child. Your child will probably have the best performance, you know, ever. So what I'm saying is, as parents, yes, historically we're not very involved because of those challenges I've alluded to, but I think it's about time that we take the next step. We want our kids to be involved in aquatics or in swimming, okay, then we've got to just try and help a little bit, you know, but to totally rely on somebody to take over your duties as a parent, I think it's unfair. But also, if there's 3, 4 kids from the same club, then that's where you help each other as parents. You know, if Dumisani's dad has got a car, you know, then, you know, Dumisani's dad, I'll give you 50 rands, put my son also, you know, to attend this gala. And maybe next time I'll also, you know, join you. So I think, and I'm not trying to be nasty, let's not make excuses. Let's make an effort. You know, even if it's 20 rands, I don't have 50 rands, but I'll give you 20 rands. You know, or, you know what, I'll prepare sandwiches for them to eat at the gala. It's the least I can do. Okay, so let's try. Let's make that effort. You know, I think times are past where we now want to put the blame or extend to the problem to somebody else. We need to take accountability. And if we want the best for our children, let's do that. Yes, we all don't have cars. We don't have the economics to do whatever, but let's try our best.
A little bit of support goes a long way, if I can put it that way.
Absolutely.
Now, Viso, just being in this ward, knowing that there's a swimming pool available in Vosloorus, have you heard from parents who maybe are willing to have their children learn how to swim, or who desire to have their kids learning how to swim if there was a coach available, for example?
Yes, they've been asking us, why do you make this, open this swimming pool while our children are not yet trained to come and swim? The first thing they complain about it, but you must remember, here the level of the people are living in this place in Vosloorus. Destitute families are a lot here. Unemployment, all those things you can count. So the kids, they went to school with different children, they see a lot of things, now they see the swimming pool. Now what I will say to you, ask to you guys, please give this training so that these kids can get it without letting them to pay for a start. Because of what? We can see here when they are closed at the school. It's 10 rand there at the gate. There are those parents who are not working. Not even one in the house working. How that child is going to get 10 rand? He must go and steal. You find them standing there looking at them. It's not nice. I will ask, please, for the first time, give them that chance. Even if they don't have money, let them in so that they can also feel the enjoyment you're talking about with other kids. You understand?
Well, perhaps like Eileen was suggesting, you know, if in a community, like one parent can say, okay, I've got 100 rands, let me sponsor my child and 9 others. That sort of, you know, communal spirit, if I can put it that way, can actually help to accommodate some of the children. Someone can come and say, okay, I'll give Koen 1,000 rands, let 50 children in or 20 children in on certain weekends. So I think even as a community, there has to be that sense of responsibility and saying, okay, fine, we've got a pool, what can we do together as a community to help our children learn how to swim safely?
I think in that case, there are NGOs, NPOs are helping these kids. If they can come and talk with the people who are working here, opening that training, so that they can count them and bring them here. From the school, they go there after school and stay with them, they teach them. They can have that time, sometimes not teach them, bring them there while there is no one swimming, so that they can have that time. Those kids, they need these things. Since you know, Vosloorus is coming too far with these things. We stay here, we are looking, a lot of things are happening. It's not very nice to see other people inside and the other one is looking at this. You don't have money to give all of them, but I think if you can arrange as a community and work together with the sport creation here in Ekurhuleni, we arrange something to accommodate all those kids. We cannot accommodate all of them, but those who are there at that point in time. This swimming pool must do something for our kids because it's here for them. We didn't have that opportunity to get such things here. Vosloorus was the last year around in Israel to have the swimming pool. So please help us, bring everything. Bring to Vosloorus. I don't say ignore other places, but Vosloorus here. Please, we're asking that. And those kids, man, we're asking, Selina, please. Paying this 10 rand is too much. If you can say 2 rand, they carry at school so that they can save 2 rand maybe. I can afford it. Even the one who's not working, she can afford to give a child a 2 rand, come here. Just tell them, bring 2 rand, they'll make, so that they can all come here and have days that so and so age must come this day. Because I can see they mix them, adults and what. So they must have days and put there, on this day, on Tuesday or Sunday or Saturday if it's open. Because when it's only open when the school are closed. This age group at this time and this age, so that they can have enough time to assess them.
Well, I think when we come back from the break, I'll give Koen a chance to actually reply to you. It's time now for a short break. Please stay tuned.